in this video we'll study about the packaging of DNA, that is nucleosome model, as well as the salient features of DNA. In the previous video we have discussed something about the DNA, some introduction of DNA, nucleotide, polynucleotide, etc. Now Frederick Miescher in 1869 in the nucleus he saw and found that some materials are there which was acidic substances, acidic in nature. That's why we have given the name nuclein. Nuclein means which is present inside the nucleus and it is acidic in nature, and that was of two type, DNA and RNA. That was the name was given later on. That time it was known as nuclein. Then due to the less technical advancement that time, not such research in this field, and after a long gap in 1953, J. Watson and Francis Crick done his experiment based on the X-ray diffraction data which was developed by Wilkins and Franklin, and that's why later on all of them got the Nobel Prize also. And then about some features, Irwin Chargaff also given some points. Now, on the basis of this diffraction data, Watson and Crick proposed the model that is known as double helical model of the structure of DNA. To explain the structure of DNA, it is given the model which is known as the double helical model of DNA structure. Some of the salient features are there. The first point, that is, all the DNAs are made up of two polynucleotide chain. That's why it is known as double helical structure. That means the smallest unit, that is nucleotide, will join to make a long chain of that is known as polynucleotide chain. Now in this way there are such two polynucleotide chains are coiling each other and join each other to form a structure that is known as double helical structure, and the backbone of this polynucleotide chain was made up of the sugar and phosphate, and from which the nitrogenous base is projecting out towards inside. The second feature is that the two chains have anti-parallel polarity. That's mean the one of the chain has the polarity is 5 to 3 direction. Here using such sign for showing that, and other will be having 3 to 5 dash, 3 dash to 5 dash direction. So both of them have the anti-parallel polarity. The third point of this salient feature is the bases in two strands are joined with the bond. That bond is known as hydrogen bond. Now we know that one purine will always bind with pyrimidine, and the pyrimidine with purine. Not purine or not pyrimidine, that is also fixed. That is, adenine will combine with thymine by the help of two hydrogen bond. That's why we'll use double bond, two lines between A and T, and G, that is guanosine. Guanine will bind with cytosine with the help of three hydrogen bond. That's why we'll write by showing three lines. So the hydrogen bonds are there to combine, to join two bases of two different strands. In this way, two polynucleotide chain will unite or join. Now the fourth point is the two bases coil in right-handed fashion and pitch of one helix 3.4 mm. Now we'll study through the diagram, we'll discuss through the diagram that the DNA has the structure like this, and this is known as one pitch, and the distance is about 3.1 nanometer. This is known as one pitch. Now each pitch having 10 base pairs which are present in a ladder-like fashion and at regular interval. That means the distance between two such base pair, here 10 base pairs are there, so distance between these two base pair is about 0.34 mm. Now one base pair stacks over other one base pair, then second, then third, in this way. One base pair stacks over other in a ladder-like fashion. Now, later on, Irwin Chargaff has explained that what is the total number or total ratio of purine and pyrimidine. So, he had given that purine always bind with pyrimidine, that is A will always combine with T, that is adenine to thymine, and cytosine with the guanine. And the ratio of AT and GC is equal to 1, that is always it will be constant. So this has been discussed by Irwin Chargaff regarding the presence of ratio of all the nitrogenous bases in the DNA. So these are some important salient features of DNA, double helical structure of DNA. Now, how this DNA perform? The main purpose, the function of DNA is transmission of characters, and beside that, it is also responsible for formation of different types of proteins. We know that our enzymes, our hormones, then for healing purpose or for growing purpose, always protein is required. And how these proteins are formed? So these proteins are formed by DNA itself. For that, DNA will undergo replication and it will form RNA. That phenomena, that process by which RNA is formed from DNA is known as transcription. And when whatever the base pairs present on DNA is transcribed on the RNA. Now these base pairs are translated into the amino acid of protein, and this phenomena is known as translation. So whole phenomena is known as central dogma, that is from DNA RNA will form and from RNA protein will form. In this way, DNA is responsible for giving rise to different types of proteins. These proteins will help us act as different types of, that will be undergoing the formation of different types of enzymes, hormones, for growth purpose, for healing purpose, repairing purpose, etc. So in this way, DNA is responsible for giving rise to different types of protein. Now, packaging of DNA helix. How these DNA are packaged, how these are bound, and how these are present inside the nucleus. We know that in case of prokaryotes, there is no true nucleus, and hence it is known as nucleoid. So, there the structure of DNA packaging is the simple type. But in case of eukaryotes, there is a mechanism, the structure of DNA is more complex, and here the DNA is present inside the nucleus. Here in eukaryote, you can see that due to the presence of well-organized nucleus, the DNA is present in the chromatin material, chromatin, like a chromatin. Here the set of we know that the proteins are positively charged and DNAs are negatively charged. So a set of proteins, there are two types of proteins present, histone and non-histone. So the histone proteins, a set of 8 histone proteins bounded together to form histone octamer, and that as a ball-like structure, and around which DNA, the negatively charged DNA is wrapped around this histone octamer, and it will form about 2.2 and half, more than 2 wrapped around the histone, and that is known as nucleosome. Now, in a typical nucleosome, about 200 base pair of DNA are present. Nucleosome forms the repeating unit in nucleus, and that is known as chromatin. These chromatin are in the form of thread-like structure which is present inside the nucleus. When we will stain that chromatin, then some portion will be lightly stained and some portion will be darkly stained. That means some portion will absorb the stain and that will appear dark in color, and it is darkly, densely formed, packed. Densely packed part will be darkly stained, which is transcriptionally inactive, and it is known as the heterochromatin. And some part of the chromatin which is loosely arranged, loosely packed, and it is also take very light stain, absorb very light stain. Such part is known as euchromatin.
In this slide, we can see the structure of DNA, its detailed structure. DNA is double helical structure. You can see here having 4 types of nitrogenous bases, 2 purines and 2 pyrimidine. Purines are adenine and guanine, and this pyrimidine is thymine and cytosine, which is single ring structure, and purine is double ring structure. One purine, that is adenine, will always combine with thymine, that is pyrimidine, and guanine will always combine with cytosine with a triple hydrogen bond, and this adenine with thymine double hydrogen bond. You can see here the structure of nucleotide. Single nucleotide consists of 1 pentose sugar, 1 phosphate molecule, and any of the nitrogenous base, either adenine, guanine, thymine or cytosine. And you can see here this is double 2 different polynucleotide chain. This is one chain, this is second chain, and both are complementary in nature. In this video we can see the structure of DNA and RNA, comparative structure of DNA and RNA. Here you can see that this DNA has double helix, and that's why it is double helical structure, whereas RNA is single helical structure. Now the base composition, that means the DNA has 4 types of nitrogenous base, which are adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. Adenine will join with thymine and guanine with cytosine. But in case of RNA, in place of thymine is replaced by uracil. So here the adenine will join with uracil. So this is the difference. Rest 3 are the same. Now about the sugar, both are in both cases, RNA and DNA, sugar is pentose sugar, but type of sugar in DNA is deoxyribose, and in RNA it is ribose sugar. And the number of strands are here in double helix about the DNA and single helix in RNA. So this is the main difference or comparative study of this DNA and RNA. In this slide we can see the structure of nucleosome, that is the packaging of DNA, how DNA is packaged inside the chromosome. DNA is always associated with protein. The chromosome is a compact from the DNA that really fits inside the cell, and the DNA along with the histone protein is combined, and that combination, their binding is known as nucleosome structure. Nucleosome is actually the basic unit of chromatin organization. In DNA of eukaryote, it is associated with the DNA is associated with the protein. DNA is negatively charged and protein is positively charged, and they combine, they make a structure like bead like structure. So beads on string like structure. The segment of DNA wound around a protein core. The protein core is composed of 8 histones, that is 4 types of double copies of histones. That's why it is known as histone octamer, around which the DNA is wrapped over here. This is the structure of nucleosome unit. One nucleosome unit consists of the core of protein, that is 8 histone proteins are there which make the core, which is positively charged, and around which the string, this DNA, this red colored figure structure is DNA, which is negatively charged. Now this core is consisting of 8 histone protein. These histone proteins are H2A 2 molecules, H2B 2 molecules, 2H3 and 2H4. So in this way total 8 are there, that's why it is known as octamer. Now this octamer is wrapped over by this DNA, and this is the H1 histone which is binding here. In this way, this is the single nucleosome subunit, and this nucleosome appears as the bead, and this string, the DNA, appears as the string. Now that's why it appears as beads on string. The number of histone is about 8, and DNA base pairs are in a single subunit about 200 base pairs are there. This is also now here you can see the packaging of protein and this DNA. These are the nucleosome, one packaging unit, that is histone octamer, and this string like structure is DNA. About 2.5 round of this DNA, then it will move toward the next core, and in this way it appears like a beads on the string. Here you can see the how much percentage of the chemical composition of chromatin in RNA. This is types of RNA, that is ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and here proteins is about 55 to 60%, which is associated with the chromatin. DNA is about 20 to 40%, and RNA is about 5 to 10%. Now histones are the basic proteins which constitute about total 60% of total protein, and almost ratio is 1:1 with DNA. Now 5 types of histones are there in nucleosome, that is H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. These are 2,2 molecules, and H1. Now the non-histone type of protein is about 20% of total chromatin protein. So you can see the total composition of chromatin. Chromatin is consisting of having DNA, RNA, proteins of 2 types, that is histone as well as non-histone. 50% structural contractile proteins functions during the chromosome condensation and in the movement of chromosome during the mitosis and meiosis. That means when the cell will enter in the cell division stage, that is either mitosis or meiosis, then the contractile protein, this chromosome will undergo condensation. That means it will become thick as well as shorten in length, and that is known as condensation. Now 50% of include all enzyme and cofactors involved in replication, transcription and regulation of transcription. So this proteins work is different at different site, that we'll discuss in the next video, that is about the replication, transcription as well as regulation of transcription.